Well, good morning, everybody. I've been in the shop for the last day and a half. There is all the Christmas orders I have as of right now, and it's getting really close. I mean, within days of, if you want one for Christmas, I'm not going to be able to do it. You don't get it really quick. Now, this is a special build here. This is a Master Sergeant. Now, all these were cut out of this. This is an old mill saw blade. We've got several pieces of that. Really hard to work with until you get it all cut and shaped like this. When they're all cut and shaped, it's okay. But this knife is for a U.S. Army captain, Captain Christopher. I can't pronounce your last name, so I won't even try. Don't want to offend you. Captain might put me on KP if I say his name wrong. But this one will be finished up today, or late this afternoon probably. It has been rough ground, rough shaped. I'm going to do the blade etching right now. I'll show you how I'm going to do that with the maker's mark. Then we'll put it on the jig and the grinder, cut the primary bevel, and then take it out to the forge and heat treat it. I'm going to do, as I say, I'm going to get it done. I'm going to try everything I can to get it done. I'm really behind on this knife. That won't be the first time that a captain has waited on a sergeant, I don't think. But now Captain Christopher is going through some health stuff right now, so let's all say some prayers for him. Quite sure you'll pull through it. Army guys are tough. We can pull through a lot of stuff, especially if our brothers are around us and thinking about us. So I'm not sure on the handle on this one yet. I've got some several really nice pieces of stabilized wood. I just have to look at it here in just a minute. As this is heat treated and cooling down in tempering oven and all that, I'll get the wood out and we'll see what we're going to do there. But I'll show you right quick. I've shown this before, but a lot of people don't like to go back and look at the old videos for on blade etching. So let's see, let me move the camera just a little bit, make sure you can see this. Now this is hot pink fingernail polish. And the other is green fingernail polish that you saw on the other ones, because I'm out of the pink. I ran out. But all fingernail polish is an acrylic paint. And that would allow me to etch just what I scratched in there with my fancy dancy homemade metal pen, which is an old drill bit sharpened. Let's see, what am I doing here? Okay, we got it soaking in our vinegar solution. It's just vinegar and salt, that's all that is. Plug in the battery charger. And we'll burn that logo right in there. Now the charger is up under the table, as far away as I can get it from me, because I can't be around a lot of battery stuff, welding, plasma cutters, all that kind of thing, because very good possibility it will set off my defibrillator, and that's not fun. But Captain Christopher was a 19 Bravo armor officer. Well, he wasn't, he is. And without armor, the ground pounders wouldn't have much support. little towel go? Move that out of the way so I can see. And just burns it right in there. And being vinegar and salt, it smells like a great big bunch of pickles are laying all over the table. While I'm doing this, I'll give a little bit of an update on this week's activities. Don't know if we're going to have a fishing video this week or not. Now, we got some rough weather coming in, depending on which weather forecast you look at. Y'all know how that goes. And as much as I love fishing, and I used to go out in bad weather and rain and this and that and the other, but not so much anymore. If weather's permitting, we'll go out and do something. But my priority is all these knives. I've got to get all these knives done in the next few days, so I can get them out before Christmas. And this one I'm hope to have out tomorrow in the mail. And in the meantime, y'all check the, I'm going to try something new on the channel. Check the little cards that I'm going to try to put up on some older fishing videos. Some of them, just like, you know, y'all don't like to go back and search for stuff. And if you've seen it, watch it again. Got several in there. Alrighty then, let's see if that'll do it. That's burned in. I'm going to take some of this goop off. I'm going to take that paint off of there. And I'll put it back on the sander on a really, really fine belt. Maker's mark. There you go. 11 more to go. Now I'll work on those after I do this some more. Alright, first step. Well, not first step, but another step in the Master Sergeant knife being made. Okay, now we're going to go over here to the grinder, and I'll show you how that goes. Alright, I got her clamped up in the jig. Let's do some bevel grinding. Noise alert. Watch your volume. Now I got a bucket of water over here. I'll dip it about every second pass, especially with this thinner steel. I don't want it to get too awful hot, so that's what the dipping's all about. A little bit more. Remember, this is a preliminary grind, first grind. I'll do it again once it's all heat treated and all. Take it down to almost sharp. Now, right quick, let's move the camera right here, if I can. Take it out and flip it to the other side. Like that. We'll do it all over again. Then we'll take it over to the vise and do the hand filing, and then we'll go outside. Same thing I just did, I'm going to do on this side. Now we're going to file in, if I can talk. Little finger tool here. Like that. Now the thumb stud, or some people call it jimping. Hold a knife in my hand to about where your thumb goes. Just put a few marks right there for reference, like that. Now some guys have jigs for this, and that's fine, to make it exact and even, but I prefer to cut mine by hand. Now I'll start with the round file, the same one I just used on the choil. Now these don't have to be real deep, just deep enough to get a little bit of grip with your thumb. Put a round, then I'll go to a triangle file, go right next to it. And we'll see in the end what that looks like and why I do it that way. Eyeball everything. The best tools you have are attached to your body already, in my opinion. And back to the round. Having to turn this file back and forth like that because it's about wore out. Almost due to get a new one. And all these are chainsaw files. Get them at any good hardware store. Alright, one more. Now we started with a round, we want to end with a round. Take that calibration tool. Just like that. Now when you look at it, I don't know if you can see it on the camera. You got a little pattern there. Looks pretty cool. When you go to cut, bear down on something, you got something for your thumb to catch on to. Alright, what do you think? I think it's ready for heat treat. We'll take it out to the forge before the rain gets here and do that. Alrighty, got the oil hot. The quenching oil, which is, in this case, I'm going to use vegetable oil. That's my primary quench oil, depending on what the knife's going to be for. This one may be used for meat, butchered deer, and that kind of thing. I'm looking for that even red color. A little bit more on the tip. You don't want to overdo it. A lot of people say, well, them guys on Forged and Fire, it's red hot when they quench. Well, I don't agree with that. They have problems with that sometimes. I think they get them too hot. But it's easy to sit at home and question what they're doing too. I almost want that tip to get a little bit more. Just like that right there. Now we're going in for the quench. Use that calibration tool again and check for straightness. And it looks straight to me. Turn the forge off. That's not flat. You set it somewhere flat. Just like that. And there we go. That'll cool off for a little while. Probably take about 15-20 minutes. Then we will scrub it down with some soap and water. Set it back on the grinder for just a minute. Clean that edge. And go to the next step. Alright, got it all cleaned up. Sometimes the forge finish comes out really nice. And I can use that, which it did on this side. Not so much on this side. So this will be a gun blue finish. I've got a real fine grit sanding belt on here. I'm going to clean it up. I'll clean out the main part. And I'll take it over to the jig again and run it through with a fine belt just like I did before. Thought I'd show you what it looked like right quick as I did that. Noise alert. Watch your ears. looking pretty good. Now I'll run back to the jig and grinder, and that'll take about one pass on each side. Then we'll put it in the tempered oven, and then I will select the handle material. Same thing on the other side. Now we'll let it cook for about an hour. And we'll look for there's a certain color it needs to be when it comes out. And I'll show you that when it comes out. If it's not proper, we'll put it in for a little bit longer. But normally an hour takes care of the tempering process. Now what this does, that metal still, well, it was soft. When I heat treated it, that brings it back to brittle hard. And the tempering process will take some of the hardness out and make it a little bit softer, easier to sharpen, and last years and years and years and years. Alright, out of the tempering oven. My little 30-minute break turned into a 2-hour nap. But that's alright. Would you get out of here? The kitty cats want to come in here. Now, I was looking for a certain color. It looks almost gold, straw colored. That's what I wanted. You get that color, that means you've got a good heat treat. Take a file. Yeah, just file, don't dig into it. Good to go. Now I'm going to polish it up with some steel wool. Put the first coat of gun blue on it, and then I can get the handles on there. Plain old gun blue. And I'm going with stabilized walnut. You cannot go wrong with walnut, especially stabilized. It's going to be very pretty and last a long time. Alright, so I'll do that. And it's getting late in the day. We'll see what happens. Maybe I can finish it up today. Maybe it'll be in the wee hours of the morning. But this is priority over everything else right this minute. I'll be back with something else in a little bit. Well, good morning. It is the next morning. Stayed out last night as long as I could. And got all the blade etching done on the other ones. Let the epoxy set on the handle. And now I'm going to put the pins in. Show you how we're going to do that. I cut my own pins. Now you can order from a knife maker's catalog pins and inserts and all this kind of stuff, but it is much more economical to get them and cut them yourself, because you never need the same size pin. I don't anyway. They always wind up being different. Okay, got the pins cut. This is brass. Set them down in there. Got a little bit left on each side. We'll take the pins, ball peen hammer. Now what that does, that expands that brass on the inside and on the inside of the wood. And it will not come off. It will not come out. pins are set. Now this is 1/4 inch brass tubing. Mount that there. Handy dandy tubing cutter, just like the plumbers use. Mark the length. Just like that. I'll put this away and get it out of our way. Now these fit very tight, which is exactly what you want. So we don't want the ball peen. Whoop. Sorry about that. Take our wooden mallet. Lightly. To the edge, put it over that little hardy hole there. Like that. Now, go over here to the 4x36, grind everything flat. Then I'll start shaping the handle. Put the bevels on here. And believe it or not, we're not far from being done. What do you think so far, Cap? It's going to be pretty. Alrighty, got the handle shaped like I wanted on the big sander. Now I'm going to start the hand sanding. Knock off the sharp corners. Now I've got this mounted in my Chuck Ward knife vise, which is one of the absolute greatest tools I've ever owned. And you don't have to be a knife maker to have one of these. They're very good to hold pieces of metal, knives if you want to sharpen them. You can mount almost anything in there. It's got the soft rubber jaws in there that won't scratch up whatever you're doing. Just an all-around good shop tool. And I will leave a link in the description box of where you can get one for your very own self. I'm not trying to sell you nothing, because I don't get anything for doing that. It's a great tool. I think it needs to be in a lot more shops than what it is. Now I'm starting off with a rough paper. Now I don't pay a lot of attention to the grades of sandpaper when I do this. This is, I think it's 100 grit. Then I'll go down to a finer and finer until I get it where I want it. Because I do not believe in a super slick knife handle. Because that thing is in your hand. And while you're using it, you want it to stay in your hand. You don't want it to slip out of there. You need a little bit of grip. Get the rough edges knocked off, and then we'll move to another piece of paper. Now I know the video is running long, but I want the captain to see how it's made, how it's done. And I do this all the time. And I like it. Now this is 220. I know what this one is. We'll go a little bit smoother. I'll just continue on this process here until I get it where I want it. Then I will put the first of 3 coats. And while that's drying, I will go to the next step, which is the sheath. And for that, we'll be back in just a few minutes. Alright, let's start working on the sheath. Now I hear that Captain likes to hunt deer, so we're going to put a deer stamp on here. Have the Arbor Press set up. Let's see, let's get it good in the center, right there. Now this Arbor Press works way better than the hammer. Some things you still have to hammer, but this works a lot better. Alright, there's just a deer. Now, let's have some fun. We're going to go with a U.S. Army stamp. Army gets top spot, of course. Let's see, we're going to put that right under the deer. Make sure we're centered up there, like that. And once again, y'all check the description box out. I'm going to put quite a few things in here. I'm going to put a link to this Arbor Press. And I may even link a video of how I converted this to handle leather stamps. Alright, there's our Army stamp. Let's see, let's go ahead and go with everybody. Air Force. Air Force are our friends also. We kid each other a lot with the different branches, but that's just all in good fun. And they're in the Air Force because they wouldn't let them in the Army. So. Just a joke, don't get mad. Alrighty, there's the Air Force represented. And let's go ahead and go with them Marines. You know how the Marines are, they always want to whoop somebody. So we go ahead and put them on there too. Line them up. Hold it in for just a few minutes. There's the Marines. And here is the United States Navy. Nah. Okay. Alright, we'll put them on there too. We got to have a way to get around, so they put us on them big old fishing boats and take us where we need to go. Get it lined up just right. There we go. all kidding aside, all veterans, we're all pulling for you. Let's see, do I have room for one more? I do have one more. Let's see. How about the coasties? The puddle jumpers. The Coast Guard. We'll put y'all on there too. And I can say puddle jumper because my cousin is a retired puddle jumper. And we always back and forth with each other. Because they do some great work rescuing and all that kind of thing. And they don't get recognized like they should. So here you go. We're going to put y'all on here too. Just like that. Now if you look real close when you get this, the camera's not going to get it, but it'll, you can see all the detail in there. Now let's move it down here. See, on the back side of the sheath, that's going to come up to about there. Where's my thing? Where's my, that'll work. Make a little mark there so we don't cover it up. I'm going to put the maker's mark. When I ordered this maker's mark, I got it actually too big, but that's alright. Maker's mark. Ain't that neat? And I will also leave a link to where I got that. Very great American company. And one last stamp. Let's put Old Glory on there. Let's make sure we're straight here. There we go. Which we know is made in USA, but we will fly our flag everywhere we can. Hold it for just a couple of minutes. There we go. How about that? Now I'm going to let this dry a little bit, then we'll get it all glued up and sewed up. And we're almost done. Alright, sheath is glued up. Put it on the grinder, trimmed it off good. Now let's trim these edges. Like that, make them look nice and neat. Go across the front here. Go around the belt loop. Just knocking the little sharp edges off of there. So when it comes time to put the finish on and buff it down, everything will be nice and smooth. Like that. Now we'll take this little tool here going to center the welt where we're going to sew it, and this will keep the threads down below the surface line. And give me a good line to follow when I drill the holes. I use the drill press method. Drill little tiny holes in there and then sew it. Looks pretty cool so far. Alright, let me get it drilled and we'll start sewing. Alright, sheath is glued up, trimmed. Now let's start sewing. Now the way I sew, that's 2 strands doubled up, but this is artificial sinew. Same thing on the belt loop. And this is actually a saddle stitch, but I'm only using 1 needle. When I get done, it will actually be 8 layers of thread. Let's go all the way up. Now this hand stitching looks very good, I think, very traditional. I would love to have a sewing machine for this kind of stuff, but I don't. So we do with what we got. And once you do a few of these, and if you've done as many as I have, it doesn't take no time at all, just 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes to sew one up. It's all about the prep work, getting everything lined up straight. Now, like I said, the video is going to run long, but that's okay. This is for Captain Christopher, and I was very honored to be asked to do this. Captain, your cousin Ryan is the one that asked me to do this for you. I've known Ryan for a good while now, through my YouTube channel, online, that kind of thing. Ryan has a bunch of my knives. Whoops. He has a bunch of them, and I appreciate that. Great guy, very good guy. On the second pass, stitches get real tight, so that's why I got to have these pliers to pull it through there. But the tighter the stitches, the better they'll hold. Now I do it much like a doctor will sew up your arm or your leg or something if when they're putting in stitches. Now, I've never stitched myself up, but I know people that have. And I've watched it done on videos, and it's just like this. Good thing to know. And yes, I have to have my glasses on to see everything. It happens to all of us. things break down, things stop working, and you get a tangle every now and then. Just make sure and straighten it out. Almost to the end. Okay, we're at the end. I'm going to finish this off. I believe this is an embroidery knot. Run it back through. Two times. Yeah, let's see, make sure you can see what I'm doing here. Clip it off. Ceiling fan's blowing my lighter. Melt that together. Press it flat. Folks, it's 78 degrees outside. On the, what's today? 8th, 9th of December. Just like that. That will never go anywhere. There you go, all sewed up. Now speaking of deer hunting, deer season is in full swing here. Gun season is in. But I am not a fan of hunting in 78 degree weather. That's why I'm just about to quit hunting around here. It's just it's too warm. Deer's there, people killing deer all the time, but I don't like it. Now Wednesday of this week is supposed to get cold, down into the 20s and 30s after this front comes through, and that's all good. But we'll talk more about that later. Now I'm gonna get out the mink oil. We're gonna rub it down real good, take it to the buffer, and I will sharpen the knife because it's all done. The next thing you see will be all finished. Be back in just a flash. Well, alright everybody, we are finished. There we go, right there. Take it out and have a look. It is 3 coats of lacquer, 2 coats of gun blue on the blade. Should protect it very well. Very sharp. Feels real good in the hand. Captain, I think you'll enjoy that. I hope you do anyway. Like I said before, thank you, Ryan, for asking me to do this for Captain Chris. It was really an honor to do. It will be in the mail tomorrow morning. Priority mail to the captain's headquarters. Now, if I may say, all you veterans out there, we're all pulling for the captain. You fight this thing like we know you can, and we all praying for very good results. There you go. Thank y'all for watching. Thank you for your support. I'm going to go in and get this video edited. And we'll get it posted up. See y'all later.